And it's Arcanine PC. We're by far the greatest team that the world has ever seen. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You can call me Kai Guy. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And if this is your first time here, then welcome to you. I am your coach of the Arcanine Pokemon Club. That is Arcanine PC for short. And we are here for our week number 3 battle in Season 5 of the NBA Swarm Division. And we are taking on Panziska and their very, very scary team. We'll go ahead and break down the Pokemon that they are bringing, why they're bringing them, or the Pokemon that they could bring, excuse me, for the battle, as well as what Pokemon I'm bringing to try and combat them. We will... Thank you for that, Siri. Piku Niku Adventure Mode walkthrough. Awesome. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Anyway, we're taking on Panziska this week in the NBA. That was very weird and awkward, but we're going to roll with it. Screw it. So let's break down their team. We are currently 1-1, while they are currently 0-2. Their team consists of Tapu Koko, Rotom Wash, Scizor, Mega Garchomp, Cinderace, Iron Leaves, Diancie, Golisopod, Iron Jugulus, and Sudowoodo, and their 2 TERA captains are Iron Leaves and Iron Jugulus. Very, very good team, in my opinion. I think this team is so much better than the 0-2 start. It's not even funny. I think this is probably a top 3 team in the division, personally. Between Tapu Koko with the Iron Leaves and Iron Jugulus for electric terrain and booster energy shenanigans, that's very, very good. Court Change Cinderace is always a demon. I had Scizor last season. It was an absolute monster for me. It was the defensive back mode of my team. Golisopod, it hits a lot harder than you think. Diancie can get up rocks. Garchomp can get up hazards, as well as be a late game sweeper with Sword Stance Scale Shot, because that's what mine can do as well. Yeah, very, very solid team. I definitely expect the Koko. I definitely expect the Jug and the Leaves. Probably Ace, Rotom, Garchomp, I think makes the most sense. Those are the 6 I'm expecting them to bring, but we'll see what ends up happening. Let's talk about, excuse me, the 6 that I'm going to be bringing this week. We've got our best 6 here going on. Looking at this, I'm just going to pull over their speed tiers real quick before I forget. There we go. All right, so we have, starting off the team, Red Hot Chili, the Moltres, holding the heavy-duty boots with pressure, and the moves Defog, Roost, Flamethrower, U-Turn. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be Flame Body, so that's unfortunate, but it's fine. It happens. I guess Pressure could also be good to, like, kind of stall out moves from Pokemon. Plus, like, if they get a little bit too worried about this and try and run, like, protective pads or something, then basically their item slot is kind of null and void, and we can just kind of deal with it. But basically, if your opponent has a Scizor and you have a Moltres, you're bringing the Moltres. It matches up so well against Scizor, it's not even funny. Scizor is a Bug Steel type, and Moltres is a Fire Flying type. Like, it literally counters it. It's the counter. Because it can't hurt me with Bug Stab, because I resist it. It can't hurt me with Steel Stab, because I resist it. I think the only move it has to hit me is Knockoff. It doesn't have any Rock-type moves or anything to hit me. I think it gets close combat, but I also resist that because of my flying typing. So Moltres just hardcore shuts down Scizor, and so this way my opponent can't get like a late game Scissor Sweep or anything. It seemed like a good bring. We got Defog here to get rid of my opponent's hazards. Something like the Diancie, the Garchomp, the Sudowoodo could set those. Roost is there for healing. Flamethrower is there mainly for Scizor, but also can do good damage to Golisopod, to Iron Leaves before it tears as well. And then U-Turn is mainly there for momentum. To keep up momentum this week is very important, so we want to try and do it as much as possible. So I've got U-Turn on there to help me with that. We're rocking the max HP, max Fizz Def on this, again, to take on Scizor. It could also do a little bit of work into the Golisopod as well. We just got to be wary of, like, a Liquidation or Razor Shell, something like that. But, yeah, it can also protect against it could be pretty good against Cinderace and Garchomp if Garchomp doesn't run a Rock move as well. So, we'll see. But imagine if you're fighting a Moltres with a Garchomp, you definitely bring a Rock move. So, we'll have to play that by ear. Pink Concerto, our Tapu Lele is up next, holding the Psychic Seed with Psychic Surge, Calm Mind Psychic, Moonblast, Focus Blast. This thing looks stupid. Plain and simple. As soon as what's it called? The Scizor is gone, this thing goes stupid. So we've got a good amount of HP on this thing, up to 299. Max special attack, 184 speed. I believe this was to speed creep a max speed Mega Garchomp, because I believe that'll hit 298, whereas since we're base 95 and Mega Garchomp's base 92, we should hit this the speed cap right here. So I believe that was to speed creep a Mega Garchomp. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what that was for. But we got 184 speed with a Timid Nature. Calm Mind is there mainly to boost our physical and or our special attack and special defense. It's also why we have our Psychic Surge to help me take on something like a Tapu Koko that's already in, something like an Iron Jugulus that's already in before it TERAs, to kind of help me out, boost my special defense a little bit already, and then help me kind of get that extra Calm Mind off that I need to hit even harder, thanks to our Psychic Surge and stuff. So that's kind of the plan. Psychic is mainly here just to nuke the opponent's team. Like, nothing on their team outside of the Scizor wants to take a Psychic, except for maybe Iron Jugulus, but if it TERAs, then it's going to lose its Dark typing and its immunity, so there's that. It also is weak to Moonblast, so this thing hits stupid hard on that this week as well. Basically, the second Scizor is gone, Tapu Lele goes in. Fiora, no. Fiora, no. Oh my god, what? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to pick her up and put her on camera for you guys, since people have asked that before on these videos, and she ran because she knows I was going to pick her up, but she hates it. But anyway, Lele goes stupid. We also do have Focus Blast if we can catch the Scizor on the switch in, or maybe if something wants to TERA Steel, we could have that for that. So that's going to be Pink Concerto this week. Next up, we got Leechgrave, the Ogerpon Cornerstone, holding the Cornerstone Mask, of course, with Sturdy, getting sturdy with it. And then move Swords Dance, Trailblaze, Hornleech, Ivy Cudgel. If I had this moveset last week, I'm pretty sure I just won after I SD'd on the Iron Jugulus, or the Iron Treads. But it also looks really good this week as well. Sudowoodo doesn't want to take a Trailblaze. Like, it doesn't do, like, a ton because it's a pretty weak move, but getting that speed boost is really nice. Something like the Diancie doesn't want to take a Hornleech either, because that'll give me a lot of HP back. Same with the Rotom Wash. Garchomp doesn't want to take a +2 Hornleech. I don't think Tapu Koko eats a +2 Ivy Cudgel. Same with Scizor. It might, depending on its spread, but like +2 Ivy Cudgel into a regular old Scizor is going to hurt a lot. And if we have our Psychic Terrain up, then it can't Bullet Punch me as with the Scizor, so that's pretty nice too. Yeah, this thing looks pretty damn good. I think we can get off a good amount of damage with it. We're rocking the max attack, 240 speed nature. Jolly to be exact, with 16 HP. This was to speed creep a max speed Iron Jugulus, because I believe that hits 345, I want to say. I think this is a jump point. No, it must be 346 then. Can't remember. But that was the goal. This way we'll be able to outspeed a +1 Jugulus as well if it's booster energy, or if it gets the boost thanks to the Tapu Koko. So because we're base 110, they're base 108, we'll be guaranteed to outspeed, which is super, super nice, not having to worry about that. My opponent does outspeed me with the Tapu Koko and the Cinderace still, but if we get a Trailblaze off, that will be null and void. So that's going to be Leechgrave. Next up, we got Storm Rider, the Thundurus THERIAN, holding the heavy-duty boots with Volt Absorb, and the moves Nasty Plot, Agility, Thunderbolt, Terra Blast, rocking the Terra Ground this week. The Oricorio Pom Pom Special, if you watch the DAPL battles. That thing was an absolute demon. So looking at this, Thundy has a really good chance to be a Double Dance Sweeper this game. Nasty Plot to boost our special attack and Agility to boost our speed. And then we've got Thunderbolt, which does insane damage to the majority of the team. Rotom Wash, even though it isn't weak to it, it's still going to take a lot as well. And then the Terra Blast, well, let's talk about Thunderbolt more. Golisopod does big damage too. Cinderace will do big damage too. Scizor. And then we got the Terra Blast Ground for the Koko. We've got the Terra Blast Ground for the Sudowoodo. I mean, Thunderbolt probably still nukes it, but you get the idea. Same with Diancie. And then depending on what the Jug and the Leaves want to Terra into, because I think Terra Steel is a very likely outcome, the Terra Blast Ground goes stupid into that as well. So that'll be very helpful for us. We're rocking 168 HP, 252 special attack with a modest nature, and 88 speed. I believe this guarantees I outspeed a +1 Jug, I want to say. I think that was what the calc was for, or what the speed was for. So if I get my agility off, I would hit 520, which I believe outspeeds a +1 Jug by 1 point. So that's why we're doing that. And then they also might go like Scarf Cinderace or something. I can't foresee it because like they already outspeed my entire team with it. So maybe they're just trying to be a little speed creepy shenanigan-y. But if they go the Booster Energy Jugulis, we'll be guaranteed outspeed after our Childy, which is really, really nice. And then, like I said, Thunderbolt and Terra Blast kind of go in this week, so hopefully we can make Storm Rider work. Next up, we got Behemoth, our Garchomp, holding the leftovers with Rough Skin as the ability, and the move Stealth Rock, Spikes, Earthquake, Dragon Tail. Pretty standard defensive Garchomp set. Defensive Garchomp actually looks pretty good here to take on the Cinderace as well as the Scizor. Could also do good damage into Iron Leaf, especially before it tears. If we try to step a Swords Dance, we can phase that out with Dragon Tail. We always got that detail on deck. You know how it is. Stealth Rock and Spikes are our hazards of choice this week. It does good work into the opponent's team. Gotta be wary of the opponent's Cinderace having the court change, though. Scizor also gets Defog, but I feel like they're more likely to bring the Cindy. So just something to keep in mind. But Earthquake will do good damage to that. So if they want to stay in on my Garchomp and take a free Earthquake to court change hazards away, I can just defog them away with my Moltres later. And like big damage off on Cindy is so good for my team. It's not even funny. Max HP, max defense on this thing with a nice and little impish nature to be as defensively bulky as possible. And we are also running the 12 speed this week. I believe this was for what? Why was... Oh, it was for min speed Mega Garchomp, I believe. Like if they run a defensive Mega Garchomp, I believe that was for that. It was something with Mega Garchomp. I can't, or maybe if they tried to speed creep my... I think I tried to speed creep a defensive speedy Garchomp is what my goal, or Mega Garchomp was my goal. So that was the plan. I don't know how well it'll work, especially because we have Dragon Tail when we're going to be going negative priority anyway. But it could be good to get an Earthquake off on that thing and get some hazards up. So it might still come in clutch. But that's going to be Behemoth this week. Pretty standard defensive Garchomp. Max HP, max defense, being a little annoyingly bulky. And thanks to that Rough Skin, the opponent will be taking some extra chip damage if they make contact. And finally, we have Parasol Beauty, the Pheasantipity, holding Black Sludge with Toxic Chain, and the moves U-Turn, Roost, Heat Wave, and Sludge Bomb. Again, we want that momentum on our bulky mons to make sure we can keep it up. Same with Moltres, we have that momentum there to bring in somebody like Storm Rider, Leechgrave, or Pink Concerto, bring in our heavy hitters. Roost is there to heal itself off, Black Sludge for recovery. Heat Wave is mainly only for Scizor. It doesn't OHKO, but it does a lot, and since we'll be guaranteed to outspeed it, we can do big damage back to it, and more than likely 2-hit KO it. So that's very helpful. Sludge Bomb is just kind of here for general damage. It does good damage to Tapu Koko because it is super effective, and I don't think it takes more than 2, especially because Parasol Beauty is extremely specially bulky. Like, we're rocking max HP Spadef with a Calm Nature this week, so Tapu Koko can't do much to us. And same thing with Jugulis. This could be a good Jug switch as long as they're not like Terra Steel or Terra Poison or something. It could also stop Diancie as well. So we definitely have a good amount of mons that can handle certain things. The only thing I could see being a bit annoying is if an Iron Leaves gets really set up, then we might be in trouble. But we do have Behemoth to try and take a hit, and then maybe we can get our Storm Rider set up from there. So we'll have to see how that goes. But that is going to be the team we are bringing this week to face Panziska. Let me know what you guys think of the team down in the comments. What Pokemon would you have done? What Pokemon would you have brought differently? What do you think is a good set this week? Make sure you let me know. I think I've held y'all long enough, so why don't we go ahead and jump into the battle? I will see you guys in just a moment. All right, we are back. We got all linked up with Panziska, had the battle. Let's take a look at the 6 she's bringing this week. We've got the Tapu Koko, the Rotom Wash, the Sudowoodo, the Iron Jugulis, the Garchomp, or the Mega Garchomp, excuse me, and the Scizor. We also see that the Iron Jugulis is indeed... Oh, I don't think Terra Preview... Oh, you guys probably can't see it yet. But the Iron Jugulis is Terra Steel, like I thought, so that is good to know. So I'm sure that's going to come into play because I do have 2 Fairy types on this team. But basically, as soon as Scizor is gone, Tapu Lele goes stupid. So hopefully we can get that thing gone pretty early. But also, Leechgrave is looking pretty good, even though the Jug is Terra Steel. Likely leads in my opponent's part. I could see them... I'm not sure why Sudowoodo is here. I could see them leading it, honestly. I could also see them leading Tapu Koko to get their, what's it called off? Their Electric Terrain. Maybe could lead Rotom Wash to get a little Volt Switch off, do a bit of scouting. All 3 of those, Leechgrave sounds like a very good lead in my opinion, so I do believe I end up leading with my Ogre Pond. As we see that... Oh, and here, I'll show you guys real quick. So, yes, the Iron Jugulis right here is indeed Terra Steel. So, just something to keep in mind. As we do see, they do lead with the Sudowoodo. Yeah, the Leechgrave was such a good lead into this, like... It matched up well into everything except maybe the Scizor. So very, very good lead for us. Honestly, I thought about Swords Dancing here, but I was also really scared about Choice Band Woodhammer or like even just like a head smash into Sucker Punch to like get my sturdy down. So I was like, I'm just gonna Trailblaze here and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna Trailblaze High Fiora. Does a lot of damage. Like that boy did not eat, or excuse me, that girl did not eat. Leech Grave does massive damage, 70%. Crest type showdown, Ethan. So it does 70%, and we get our +1 speed. As we see, they are just gonna go ahead and set their rocks. So I still have my sturdy intact, but if I lose that, then Scizor BP is just free into me. So I was like, I'll just go for the damage, take the Trailblaze, take the KO, and now I can freely defog these rocks away whenever I want, because Moltres is a free switch into Scizor every time. So that way we can basically make the Sudowoodo's life null and void, as morbid as that sounds to say. But we got a little +2 speed Leech Grave here on the field, as they are going to bring in the Rotom. I thought about Swords Dancing right here, expecting a Will-O-Wisp. But even still, Horn Leech does do good damage. I figured the way they brought this in, they had to be Rindo Berry. Because otherwise, like, you probably would have brought in, like, your Scizor, maybe your Iron Jugulus. So maybe Swords Dancing would have been the smarter play here first, but I think also getting rid of the Rindo Berry was a pretty helpful thing to do. So that way, if I could get something going with this thing later, because even if we're burned, if we get 2 Swords Dances up, we're still technically at +2. So it can kind of cancel it out a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Horn Leech. As we see, they are indeed the Rindo Berry. And they are going to take about 33% from that, which is pretty nice damage, actually, like, all things considered. If they miss their Will-O-Wisp, that would be heartbreaking for them. Thankfully, they do not. So we are on a timer. We have also lost our Sturdy. And they're going to make the quick pivot out into the Scizor, as I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to Horn Leech. Does nothing. I get a crit. I don't think it matters very much. It only did 7. And then I'm burned, so I'm taking a little bit extra chip. Like I said, though, anytime this thing hits the field, Moltres is just the freest switch into my life. So I will be going into it. Ironhead doing actually 0. Yeah, I definitely the forgetting the Flame Body was a big mistake. I think it worked out okay for the most part. I don't think it would have mattered. But yeah, because I think they are protected pads actually, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But not having the Flame Body is a little upsetting. But either way, I can freely defog. There is no universe that Scizor stays in right here. So, defog and the Sudowoodo basically accomplished not very much. So, salute the Sudowoodo! Mega Garchomp comes in. Sick nickname, by the way. So, I'm thinking here, alright, they might just set their own rocks. I could also see them going for SD, which neither of those options I'm a big fan of. But I know I outspeed a Mega Garchomp no matter what. So, I'm just going to go with my Lele. So, I'm like, alright, if it's got the rock move, it's got the rock move. I'm going to click Yui. I'm going to Yui to keep momentum. So, you see, they're going to Toxic. So, that tells me they are defensive Mega Garchomp. Based on the fact that they went for Toxic on this turn. So, I'm like, okay. I'm pretty sure Lele still smokes this. I will be U-turning out into it right this second. So, I do. I get up my Psychic Terrain. My Psychic Seed activates. So, I am now at +1 Spadef. I thought about just clicking Calm Mind right here to get that extra little bit of speed boost. But I thought just firing off a free Moonblast would be pretty helpful as well. But either way, this thing is just the guaranteed switch in no matter what. That does good damage, though, so it tells me they are probably not Spadef Scizor. 23% is, like, pretty solid damage, actually. So that's pretty helpful. I do get special attack drop. Definitely matters, because Scizor is known for being a special attacker, of course. Obviously, I can't stay in. I have to go into my Garchomp, as they are going to UE. Very smart play in my opponent's Tart. And we do see that they are protective pads. So we did have that prediction correctly. They are protective pads. So having Flame Buddy on Moltres really wouldn't have made a difference this week. So no big deal. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And they are going to make a quick UE out into their Koko. I'm like, I think based on my HP investment, I live a Dazzling Gleam from this thing unless they're choice specs. So I'm going to Earthquake it and get this thing gone. Like, that's my plan. As we see, they are going to go ahead and make the double into the Jugulus to get their Quark Drive activated. I actually set my Stealth Rocks there. I thought I'd just click Earthquake, but maybe Earthquake probably would have been the smarter play, but I actually just go for my Rocks there. So unless they have Defog on their Scizor, those are here to stay, which is very nice for me. And we do see that the Jug is Speed Boost. So that means my Thundurus Therian will be able to outspeed more than likely. No. Yeah, it definitely will, as long as I have my agility up. So right here, I was like, I could just click the Dragon Tail and phase them out. Otherwise, I could click Spikes. I think I do end up clicking the Detail right here. as we do, that phases them out now. Does solid damage, too. Like, I have no attack investment, and that did 28% with that Dragon Tail. And since they are still a flying type, they will be taking 25% on switching next as well. Well, actually, they might be heavy duty boots. We haven't seen that yet, so that could be the case. But we'll see. Either way, phase them out into Rotom. I had a feeling they would just Will-O-Wisp me here, but like at this point, Garchomp's getting its hazards up, so I don't really care. I'm just going to get out my spikes. They can burn me all they want. Ain't going to bother me none. We see they're going to Pain Split, get a little bit of HP back, but they're going to lose that HP immediately, and then also take hazards on switching as well. Which is very good for me. This thing taking hazards is very, very nice for me, too. And Garchomp has basically done its job, so I could, like, kind of sack this thing. I thought maybe let's go for the Earthquake crit, because I'm assuming they're going to roost right here. Did not get the Earthquake crit, so they live at 22%. I don't think even a crit would have killed, but it would have been funny. It would have been funny, though. As they're going to bring their HP back to 72%, so solid roost on their part. But again, like, Moltres is just kind of a free pivot whenever I want, so I can just kind of stay in, get up an extra layer of spikes if I want to. I do think I click the Dragon Tail right here, just to keep the phasing up. As the Rotom comes back in, and now that's taking another 11%, and we'll be taking extra Stealth Rock when it comes back in, too. So that's perfect for me. Tapu Koko we see is officially heavy-duty boots, not taking any hazards damage right here. And if they want to KO me at this point, I'm like, whatever. Garchomp's done its job. It's got its hazards up. It doesn't seem like they have Defog to remove those hazards on the Scizor, so honestly, I'm chilling. As we see, they do go for the D-Gleam and kill Behemoth. Unfortunate things are unfortunate, but Garchomp did its job. It put in work. It's got its hazards up. It spread a little bit of phasing around. And now it's time to bring the rest of everybody in. So I'm going to go out into Storm Rider right here. And I believe it is just kind of time to go for the TERA. Because they can't hit me with electric-type moves because of my Volt Absorb ability, so they have to D-Gleam me. And I can freely just Terra Ground and, like, KO this thing if I want to. I'm going to do Agility first to get the outspeed on it. And then I can just... I don't even need the Nasty Plot at the moment. I can just freely click Terra Ground, Terra Blast. And this thing should drop, as it does. So Terra Ground Thundy picking up a KO this week. Very, very nice. We love to see it. Next in comes the Mega Garchomp, which is fine. It's taking extra hazard, which is really, really nice for me. I thought about preserving this thing, but I think it was probably better just to get my chip off on this guy. Because Lele is looking super good in the back right now. As, like, same with Moltres. Like, Moltres and Lele look super, super good in the back right now. So I was like, alright, I think I could just freely click Terra Blast. I thought about going for Nasty Plot here as well, and I'm really glad I did because it only did 35. So it would have been close, but I don't think the second Terra Blast would have killed. And it definitely would have because this thing packs the Draco Meteor, which will take me down. Thundurus put in work, though. Got his one kill. Got some big damage off on the Mega Garchomp. We will gladly take that to the bank. And it is time for Lele to come back in. There is no reason not to. And we can just freely go ahead and fire off a Moonblast, as that is going to KO the Garchomp. They can bring in their Scizor all they want for free. I really don't care. It's definitely going to come in here, and it does. But it's taken that hazard damage, and now it has to roost, which means my pivot into Moltres is even more free than it already was. Because they have to roost right here, and they can't stay in. So I'm like, well, I just U-turn here. There's no shot they stay in. As we see, there goes the Rotom. And I'm going to make a U-turn out of here into my Ogerpon. Hey, what's up, buddy? And I can just freely click the Trailblaze right here, or Hornleech, either one's fine, and get the KO. So Rotom goes down, that leaves the Jug and the Scizor. And I still have 4 up on my side. In comes the Scizor, and like, I can imagine they're going to U-turn right here. But I was like, I'm just going to click Swords Dance, and then maybe I can get it off a neutral Iron Ivy Cudgel and go for the crit. In case we live it. We do live it, but unfortunately because of that burn, we're going to be taking 6%. So that's going to drop us. So that's unfortunate. It really didn't matter because, well, actually, it might have mattered. No, because we wouldn't have lived in Ironhead. We would not have lived in Ironhead. And we will see in a second they're actually speed. They're also booster energy on this thing. So they do get their Quark Drive activated thanks to that booster energy. But they do also take hazards again, which is really good. Really, really good for me there. We see Leech Ray is going to drop. And in comes Lele to set my Psychic Terrain. Okay. So here it turns to the most pivotal turn of the entire battle, in my opinion. So we have seen that they are Terra Steel. We've seen that, right? We know that they're Terra Steel. We know they outspeed me because of their booster. And I think they outspeed me naturally anyway because I think this thing's base 104 or 108. Whereas I'm 95. And I already consumed my Psychic Seed, so I don't have that special defense boost to help me take this thing on. We've seen their Terra Steel. Right now, they are immune to Psychic. they are weak to Moonblast, and Focus Blast is neutral. So with their current typing being Dark Flying, that's the scenario I see. So if they TERA right here, Moonblast and Psychic become resisted, and they'll be able to go off like a TERA Steel TERA Blast or Flash Cannon on me, and that is not fun. Like, I think we'd still be okay because we have Fez in the back, but this thing taking a ton of damage from that is not a good look for me. Like, it could get a little bit dicey at that point, depending on how well Fez eats. So I was like, okay. Honestly, the guaranteed damage with Moonblast sounds pretty good, but I feel like my best mid-ground play here is to Focus Blast. And I know it's 75% accurate, so that might be a dumb thing to suggest, but I think it's the truth. Because it's neutral if it doesn't TERA, and it's super effective if it does. Whereas if I Psychic here, it's immune if it doesn't TERA, it resists if it does. That's out. And then for Moonblast, it's super effective if it doesn't TERA, and then resisted if it does. So based on that, the Focus Blast seems like a bit of a no-brainer. So 75% chance to hit. If we win, if we hit, we probably just guaranteed win. If we miss, we should be okay, maybe. But it does get very dicey because Lele won't be able to outspeed, and we'll definitely drop to a TERA Blast or a Flash Cannon. So I'm like, all right, I'm clicking Focus Blast. 75% accuracy, be damned. Let's do it. As we see, they are going to go ahead and TERA Steel right here, so Psychic and Moonblast still could have done good damage, but because of the TERA Steel, they would have been resisted. And they do have the Flash Cannon. I live, thank you very much, 72 HP EVs for coming in clutch right there, because I don't know if I would have lived otherwise. And we hit the Focus Blast, and that thing is going to drop. So that's huge for us. All right. So we've seen 3 of the 4 moves on Scizor. We know it's got Iron Head, U-Turn, and Roost. 4th move might be Swords Dance. I doubt it's Defog. So looking at it, I'm like, all right, Lele's done its job. Moltres wins at any time. This thing's taking damage. I'm like, I feel like they're just going to Roost. Like, they have to just Roost, surely. Like, 100% of the time. So I'm going to click Calm Mind this turn. Like I don't need Tapu Lele for anything. I don't need Tapu Lele for this. Moltres just wins whenever it comes in. So I'm like, all right. I'm gonna click Calm Mind right here. As they do Roost right there. So good play on my part, getting that free +1, and now Psychic will do even more in Psychic Terrain. And then as soon as Lele dies, Moltres just comes in and wins the game. So I'm gonna go for the Psychic in Psychic Terrain. That did massive damage, 42% from a resisted hit. That's massive. And we do get a Spadef drop. Kind of important, but also not. Because another one probably would have KO'd from that range then. So if they would have, like, Swords Dance or something right here, we would have just guaranteed one. I don't believe they packed the Swords Dance. I believe their 4th was Bullet Punch for when terrain drops and everything. But either way, they can just kill me right here with Iron Head. Moltres can freely come in. Go ahead and click that Flamethrower. And that is going to be all she wrote as your Arcanine Pokemon Club, your Arcanine PC, pick up their 2nd win of the season in the NBA. Let's freaking go. GG's to Panziska. They played very, very well. I really liked the TERA Steel on the Jug. I thought that was a very good bring. Swords Dance on the Scizor could have been a bit annoying. I was really shocked no Cindy. But yeah, it was a good battle. It was a close battle too. Sadly though, I'm still in the negative differential because of my terrible week 1 loss. But we now move to 2-1 in the season while Panziska drops to 0-3. So we are currently in the upper half of the league, which is nice. My differential's not helping me too much, but maybe we can keep things going, keep a little win streak alive to hopefully fix that. Let me know what you guys thought of the battle down in the comment section below. Definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here, and especially if y'all are enjoying the Draft League content, because it lets me know that you are, and lets me know I should keep making it. What was your favorite Pokemon that I brought? Let me know all that in the comments down below as well. We'll be back here next week for week 4 of the NBA. I believe we are taking on one of the undefeated teams, actually, so that should be pretty interesting. So I will catch you all then. Appreciate you all tuning in for the battle. Definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here and leave a like. It helps me out a ton. I'll catch you all next time. Until then, though, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Peace.